Alright guys, just going to talk about the big reset button. And there's been a couple of things that have brought this up, simply because some of the people I know have had some really bad situations. Myself, I've had a crap 6 months, but at the same time, I've got stuff that drives me forward where some of these guys haven't. So the big red reset button is not actually a physical button, but last Friday my contract finished with work, so that was a big sigh of relief. I've also got rid of my family, which was a massive sigh of relief. For the last 6 months it's been a bit of a living hell sometimes, because you got the squabbling siblings after their inheritance. But when I arrived in the UK for my job, basically my father went into a coma that day and later died, and then you've got all the problems with everybody trying to get all the cash and everything for themselves. Totally disgusting. I tried giving it to lawyers to do. The lawyers couldn't deal with a certain party, so 2 lawyers actually just gave up. But I mean, I'm glad I'm out of it. But it did cause me my back to eventually collapse at one point. So the point being is, physically, it caused a lot of hassle. Mentally, I took it on the chin. But it didn't stop me suffering with things like you're wondering what next email or something you're going to get from somebody's solicitor or something, and then you're having to deal with that on top of a very busy work schedule. And then you've got all the bickering going on. I'm just glad to get rid of them. I'll be blunt with you. And the reason this video is out here today is because I want to say there is always that big red button. Last Friday, my work contract finished. My family are finished anyway. They even cancelled my address from my father's home. Now, bearing in mind, they've got no right to do that, because I actually have 25% stake in the entire estate, including their house. But this is how petty they are. But for me, that's what they're going to do, fine, because I'm glad to be rid of them. I've got a vile sister that, I don't know, there's just something not right with her. I've got a brother who already has issues that's even recognised by the state. So the point being is, I've got two of the worst people I've ever come across in my life, and I've got another brother that just mañana is just like, no, nothing bothers him at all. So for me, it was a very difficult time. For the last 6 months, I've had to deal with this constant bickering between these people who've got nothing better to do except squabble over my dead father's estate, and it just disgusts me. So do I feel robbed? To be honest, this is how you've got to look at it. Yeah? Were you robbed, or is it the fact that you've made the best investment ever because you got rid of the worst people you'll never ever meet? So it's the investment. They were worth getting rid of. But the point being is, the red button came on Friday, because Friday was the end of contract. Friday was the end of the UK. Because for me now, I'm more focused on being in Spain full time. And the reason I bring this video up is not because of I feel pity about myself or whatever, because I don't. I just take it on the chin. It's more a case of, I know a few other people have got some other issues, and I've seen, even on the YouTube, you see some people. I can't remember who the guy's name is. I think Steve Vlog or something like that. The guy started his channel because he was at the end. You know, he was contemplating just finishing it all. Now, there's the big reset button. And the reset button is to turn around and take control of your life. For me, it came on Friday that I'm out of that. That is all over now. I have no reason to contact my family. I never want to hear from them again. At the same time, I'm focusing on my new life in Spain. I'm focused on learning Spanish. I'm focused on the positive side of things. And I know a lot of people get stuck in these ruts, and that's the way I look at this as well, because my father let other people drag him down to their level. Two brothers lived in my parents' house, and they had no intention of ever leaving. They were not worth anything. You know, I mean, don't get me wrong, the one brother, like I said, he just goes about his life doing his own thing, doesn't really bother anybody. But the other one is just a complete thorn in your side all the time. And he let himself get locked into that. You know, the guy worked all his life, and 4 years of retirement, dead. But those last 4 years, were they good? Not at all. Because I remember when he built the conservatory, and I stood in the conservatory and said, oh, there'll be no money. I'm going to spend all my money before I die, so there's nothing left. And I said, sell the house. Get rid of them. Sell the house and go off and do your own stuff. Go and travel, do your stuff. Do it. No. And what do? They're sitting squabbling over his money. He'd given his life up for them, and at the same time, they're sitting there wanting the money. Now, this gets to the point. You probably think, Matt, you get a bit irritated, bothered by. No, the point is, I'm putting the focus on. That's what my father had allowed these people to do to him. And I'm not saying there's more than just my brothers involved in this, but at the same time, he allowed that to happen, and he allowed them to keep doing it to him over and over again. He should have set that reset button. The reset button would be selling the house. They're out on their backside, place is going, he's going, got his camper van and off he went. That's what he should have done. I mean, he was sitting on over $500,000. But the point is, people allow others to do things to us. So my sort of message today is, if people are doing this sort of stuff to you, recognise you need to change it. If you're in a relationship that doesn't work, guess what? Unless you're going to work at it and sort it out, you need to change. You need to get rid of it. If you're in a job you hate, causes a lot of stress, anxiety, stuff that you think about all the time, guess what? You need to change. Find another job. Find something with less stress. Find a company that appreciates you more. Find another thing to do. And it's not always going to be easy. I mean, I've got to admit that this is why it's good timing for me right now, because the UK I'm trying to get rid of completely. I'm focused on Spain. I've applied for some jobs in Spain. I'm focused on learning my Spanish. I'm going to start drawing my German back out of me, because I was fluent in German when I was a teenager, because I lived in Germany for 6 years. So I'm going to get my fluency back on my German as well. But the point is, my focus is to be in Spain. I'm going to earn probably about a third of what I was earning in the UK. But you know what? The word stress-free is the important sentence. Stress-free life is the important bit. Family life. Having the ability to develop other things that you often can't do because of the other things that are going on. Because like when I'm working in the corporate world, they basically own you during that time, because during the week there is never enough hours, so you often work in the weekends as well. Like sorting the last lot out, I worked all over Christmas. Worked Christmas Day, Boxing Day, all of that to sort a load of stuff out. But the point being is, I'm moving away from that. And I know it's not an easy step, and this is why I'm sort of bringing it up now, because I'm focused on how do I make this happen. How do I make this happen? I mean, like, I'm even looking at a food truck, you know, as an option. But the reality is, there is other lives out there. There is other options out there. You need to hit that red button though, whatever's causing the issues, or the fact that you're not motivating yourself towards a goal, and do it. You know, if you want to go off and travel, start today. How are you going to make it happen? What is going to get you heading in that direction? Because if you're going to sit there and think about it, how many years have you already sat there thinking about it? Because it's a bit like, I think I mentioned on the last video, the guy who went off to Australia. It was the divorce that prompted that, but he'd always wanted to do it. And then after he'd done it, guess where he was going straight afterwards, after he'd run out of money? Saved money, back to Australia. He'd already found what he wanted in life. And people go, oh, you should get a house, you should settle down. You should... Really? You only have one life. You only have one life. What are you stacking it up for? So, yeah, I choose life. Thanks for watching.